Hey friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Melanie Dunn and this is Careers Without 4 Years, where I help show you guys where the opportunity is in today's job market for great careers that don't require 4-year degrees and show you how to find affordable and even free training. All right, so today I'm going to give you 5 ways to save money on college. And these tips will save you thousands of dollars. So let's jump into it. All right. The first way to save money on college is don't drop out. Most people drop out of college today, and they do for a couple of reasons. And one of them is they feel they've run out of money. So what happens is our culture is college obsessed, right? So let's say you're in high school and everyone's pressuring you to go to college, but you have no idea what you want to do. And there's a reason for that. We do almost no career education in the U.S. schools, so a lot of people don't know. But they do know one thing. Their grandparents, their parents, their friends, their siblings, and all their classmates know they must go to college. They think they must go to college to make anything of themselves. They've got to enroll in college. This is not true, and we'll talk about that in a lot of other episodes and interviews. But they enroll in college without a career path. They get about a year down the road, they've taken out some debt, and they start to get nervous because they're nowhere near figuring out what it is what they want to do. So they drop out. Dropping out is expensive. Now you have thousands of dollars in debt, and you don't have any training to help you get that good job to pay for it. So instead, find a career path before you enroll in college. So if you have no idea what you want to do, take a career test. If you're in high school, your career counselor usually can offer you one. If you've been out a few years and you're thinking of going back, your local community college can usually offer you one. Also, I'll link to one below. It's excellent. It's not an affiliate link. I make no money from it. I just really like this test. It's called Career Key. It'll cost you about $20, but a great thing about it is it compares your responses to those of people working in that occupation. So it'll give you a few ideas of occupations that might be great fits for you. Okay, so the second way to save money on college is to assess yourself. About 30% of people drop out of college because they're not ready to do the coursework. They don't have what we call academic proficiency. So you don't need to be an A student to go to college, but you do need academic proficiency. So if you're in high school now and academics are not your thing, talk to your career counselor and say, look, what I'm after is academic proficiency in my math and verbal skills, because you need proficiency in order to get training in any type of work, even if you just want a certificate, which there are many great certificates out there that can earn you a very good living. So we're looking for academic proficiency, and if your counselor says, let's go to summer school or retake Algebra 1 or get some tutoring at night, do that. In high school, this is usually free, and take advantage of it. If you've been out a few years, you can go to your local community college and ask to be assessed. And they will tell you if you need to brush up on your math skills or maybe get some foundational skills you never had. Do that first. Often you can get grants and loans to help you pay for it, but doing this will make you so much more confident and relaxed when you do sign up for that certification class or that coursework. Now, just a note here for those of you out there that may think you have a learning disability or were diagnosed in the past and maybe did nothing about it. Now's the time to go back and address that. And the reason for this is that we want to maximize your ability to succeed in your training so you don't make mistake number 1, which is dropping out and having debt that you can't pay off easily. All right, so go to your high school counselor. If you've never been assessed, you can just ask. Say, I'd like to be assessed for a learning disability. That is your right under the law. All you have to do is go in and request it. If you've been out of school for a few years, you could probably get a referral at your local community college, but you may have to pay for it. Again, though, it's worth every penny. What we want to know is, what's our learning style? How do we get the things that are in front of us in a class into our long-term memory? What accommodations do we need? Do we need more time taking a test? Do we need to take some medication? Do we need to sit up front in class? Now, I have a learning disability, so I do a few of those things, and it helps me be a successful student, and I want you to be too. A note for you also, those of you that may have graduated high school and looking back think I was not a great student. A lot of people that go back to school after a few years in the job market are great students. In fact, that's more the norm than not. So I want to encourage you. All right. Now, so assess yourself. If you have a need to get increased ability to do the academic coursework, we're talking about basic proficiency, and take care of that learning disability. If you think you have one, go find out and find out what you need to do so that you can be comfortable when you set foot on any college campus or into any training program. All right. Third way to save money on college is to talk to people. It's totally free, right? So let's say you have a few career paths that you're interested in. Talk to people doing that work. Now, maybe you can find that work in your extended friend and sibling network, or that of your parents, or your neighbors. You can also look farther afield. Go to a job fair. There are often many employers there and many employees of those employers, and you can ask them a few questions. Also, in your town, learn about your local job market and find out where people work at the companies you might be interested in working for in that job. You can go to that office park, for example, and hang out with people where they eat lunch or where they're grabbing coffee in the morning. And most people would be more than happy to spend a few minutes with you to answer a few questions. And you want to find out, do you like your job? What's an average day like? What do you wish people understood about what you do? That will help you understand if that idea in your head about a good career path might be a really good fit. The other thing to know is, where did they get their education and training? And this is especially important if there's a computer language you might need to know. Say, we want to make sure that you have the one that's right for that company. Companies can be very picky about the skills they want from their workers. So as much information as you can find out. If they want running Java, you want to learn Java. If they're running C#, C#. If you're interested in a welding career, do they have TIG welding, or do they have other types of welding there? So what kind of certification for welding do they need, right? We want to target your training so you're not overspending on training that you don't need, and you're not missing out on getting the one skill or two that you really do need. So talk to people. Now I just want to mention something about talking to people, because this can be the most money-saving tip of all, as I said. So for those of you that are interested in careers in the trades or advanced manufacturing, going to talk to those employers locally can be a huge windfall for you, because sometimes you can just walk into that factory, or you can walk onto that job site, ask to talk to the supervisor, tell them you're interested in that career, whether it's welding or CNC operator or machinist, for example, or on a construction site, carpentry, or being an electrician or a plumber. You could walk on and perhaps meet those people who would be willing to take you on and train you on the job. And that means you would be earning a paycheck from day one and have no cost for training. You would be apprenticed. So for those of you interested in those careers, talking to people is a huge benefit to you. All right. The fourth way to save money on college is related to the last one, is accreditations. Now that you've found a career path that you're interested in, you want to choose a school that is accredited to offer that training. And that can be tricky. So, unfortunately, the fact is higher education is very poorly regulated in this country. It's a shock to me, but it's true. And there are thousands of people every year that get bilked by what we call fly-by-night education providers who say they can offer you a piece of paper and do that, and then at the end you find out it's worthless. So what you want to find out, is that school accredited to offer that training? Now, usually that information should be on the website. But even if it is, go to that accreditor. They usually have a website. They are usually nonprofits that oversee the training for that career. And you want to talk to them. What do they think of this program? Do they have any relationships with education providers? Find out those things and try to select those preferred providers if you can, or at least it will help you cross providers off your list that aren't really going to give you the education that you need. People spend thousands of dollars every year that is just wasted, and time that is wasted, and debt that is wasted because they go with these fly-by-night providers. All right. The fifth way to save money on college is fill out and submit your FAFSA. All right. For those of you out there that don't know, and I bet there's almost no one who doesn't, but the FAFSA is the federal application for federal, state, and school financial aid. And that includes grants and loans. Now, sometimes people think, I wasn't a great student, I'm not going to get a grant. Well, you could be wrong about that, because grants aren't always given to A students exclusively. There are other grants that are just out there to encourage people to enter that occupation because the area that you're living in has, say, a hospital system that needs radiology techs, or a manufacturing program that needs CNC operators. So you want to make sure that you have every chance of getting all the free money that you can. All right, so you don't need to be an A student. Fill out that FAFSA. Now, if you think you're going to need a loan, the FAFSA opens the door to the federally backed Stafford loans. And these loans have the lowest interest rate. I believe for undergrads today, that rate is 3.75%. They also have the most flexible terms. And here's the most important thing. You don't need a credit rating to get a loan. You don't need a credit rating. So go ahead, fill out that FAFSA and find out what grants and loans, how much you might be able to borrow, how much money you might be able to get free, and click submit. All right, if you stayed this long, thank you so much. And may I just briefly say, if you found this content useful today, please subscribe, like, comment, and share it. There are so many people out there that are looking to save money on college, would like to go back, can't, figure out a way to do it. And because you stayed this long, I'd like to give you a bonus tip. All right, and that is, don't hesitate to step your career. And what I mean by that is, okay, you've selected a program, you have submitted your FAFSA, and you're looking at the money that you can afford right now for college, and you can only afford part of that program. Start with where you are and just do that piece of it. It can make a lot of impact on your financial bottom line to do that, especially when it comes with certifications. And an example of this is the entry-level heating and air conditioning certification program. That is for residential. Now, HVAC is a very hot field. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pun. It is right now, and you can make $80,000 to $100,000 as an HVAC tech. I mean, not right away, but after a few years. So the entry-level certification for this could take you about a year. You can get it at a community college. You can often get a grant or a loan depending on your state. And at the end of that time, you will walk into an entry-level job that is about $32,000 a year, and that will have, by the way, health care and vacation paid, and probably 401k. Within 5 years, you would be earning $50,000 about a year, and you'd be able to afford that next certification level. I think it might be an associate's degree in a lot of places that would earn you that additional $20,000 to $30,000 a year. So don't be afraid to step your education, start where you are, bite off a piece that you can handle, and you're good to go. Anyway, thanks for stopping by today. I'll be posting videos and interviews from our podcast very soon, and take care.